All right. And let me start by apologizing for starting 6 minutes, a whole 6 minutes behind schedule. Um, my systems were a bit acting up, and I had to reboot. Plus, the fact I went out before I went to my school, so Ecobit. I went to Ecobit. I was held up from traffic, and so I came in a little bit late. But that said, I think the system froze because I got here about 15 minutes to the time, but then the system froze. I needed to check up with it. While that is on, let me also do a few things. Let me first off, good afternoon to the one person that is viewing right now, and a whole lot of more people that will view it later. Table Talk is as a result of people who's asking me, I should create a forum where I can, have a few talk on a sporting matter, especially in this season of transfer and the new season that is coming thick and fast, and then all the transfer issues and matters that are being generated back and front in the transfer market. I should come on board and talk about it. And I felt it was nice. Thanks to ONG, thanks to a few other people who pushed me in that right direction. So that's the reason why we're having the table talk. In case you're just joining, my name is Esiogane Daphne Matthew, and I like to have a few opinion on all the charges that are going on, but I can't have an opinion without you people getting involved. It's come sort of like the radio show you have, but this time around, it's a conversation that goes back and front. It's not a one-man it all. I don't think there would ever be a time where one man will actually know it all. So it's not a one-man know it all kind of thing, but something that has to do with all of us coming together to say, let's talk. So it's friends having to chit chat, and have their time on topical issues that are going on in the sporting world. Why that is going on, I'm working on a few things here, so you might see me turn my head this way a little bit and try to respond to the few those that are dropping in and the questions that people are also asking me on Twitter. But let me read this one that somebody sent me. Okay, this is what is going to say. Hello, Daffy. What do you think of the chances of Liverpool, bearing in mind that they've had like a few real good signings that if this player Liverpool is right for the title now. His name is Chibunam Easy, and he's sending that message all the way from Greece. Okay, so I like that. First off, I'm one of those people who believe that from the time that the club signed for Liverpool, that he needed 5 years to win them the league title, and somehow it's just about getting close to that 5 years. And with the team he's got right now, with the addition of Alisson, who's most likely, if he adapts, new goalkeepers struggle to adapt to the English league anyway. But if you adapt quickly, this is, and he's to contribute between 15 and 21 points, saving saves for them in the season. It just might have given them value for that 67 million that was expanded on him. And there's Fabinho, who for me is as good a midfielder as any other midfielder in the team. And then there's Nabil Keita already, who they've signed one season ago. That's visionary leadership as I'm concerned when it comes to the management of Liverpool for what they did and how they went about their business in signing that player. And then there is the trio of Mane, Firmino, and Mo Salah, who, in my opinion, are good enough strike force to win the title. The fact that they lost Coutinho to FC Barcelona, and it didn't feel like they lost, went all the way to the finals of the Champions League, and Real Madrid won them due to Real Madrid experience and some, under the hand tactics from what's it called from Sergio Ramos, every other thing was fine. So I think that Liverpool are genuine contenders right now for the English Premier League title. Manchester United, I got a message from someone there was asking me, okay. Okay, Ndidi Emmanuel sent his message all the way from us. That's nice. I'm not getting any message from Lagos. But he said, Idafi, do you think that Manchester United have one of those goalkeepers, not just in the Premiership, but in the whole world? Why are they struggling? Why could they, win the Premiership? Last season, I really Man City ran away with the title. Every other team would have celebrated coming second in the league and coming second in the FA Cup. But when you're Manchester United, the standard is different. But then, again, I want to look at Manchester United as a team. Manchester United is beginning to, the league season, and it's easy now for people to say, well, they will not win the league. I don't think they will win the league. They don't have what it takes to win the league. Reason being that Man United seem to draw quite a few more games than necessary. And that is not too good, And let's not forget that Chelsea won their friendly match. I think it's the first game now under Maurizio Sarri, Australia, against Perth by a goal to nil, which is pretty much good for them, at least to start building confidence. But still, the Manchester United talk. Manchester United, what I thought happened after Alex left was in biology, in biology science, if you want to change your DNA, you can change your DNA, but a whole lot of bad things that could happen to you. So this is how I graphed it. Manchester United actually, when Sir Alex left, every other person that have come in have tried to change the DNA of Manchester United. And in trying to change the DNA of Manchester United, they brought in things that are alien to Manchester United. And Manchester United is a big club that have both history, tradition, and everything you can think of. So when you show up at Manchester United, don't try to change the tradition overnight. You should stick to what they're used to. Try to adapt to their system, and then maybe gradually you bring in your own that is a semblance. If you look at the transition between Pep Guardiola and the current coach of Barcelona, every coach that has come in to do one adjustment or the other, but it's not drastic. It's not so big that, you look at the team and you're like, okay, this is not the team I used to know. That's anyway that I have to respond to. Good, Amasue Precious, thank you for joining us first. It's a good afternoon, boss. Welcome. Was right in front of my system at 3 p.m. Yes, I was here too, but say good afternoon, sir. What will you do if you were a United boss to put them in forefront to win the trophies? I think Manchester United have the wrong coach. A great coach is coaching Manchester United, but with the wrong way. So I think if I'm in charge of Manchester United, first off, I will get the right players to play in the right position. I don't think that it's a good thing that Manchester United is using Ashley Young and Valencia to play, because sometimes I caught between thinking, is Ashley Young a defender or a winger? And we can see how that affected him at the World Cup too. Because sometimes he's going forward and he's thinking of tracking backward, he's going backward and he's thinking of going forward. So there is confusion there. And then Valencia too. Yes, as much as I agree that Valencia has done a great job converted into that position, I think it would do Manchester United have traditional fullback left and right. And then Lukaku needs this 4-3-3 system favors teams that have a lot of ball jugglers, that have mobility in terms of short passes, intricate passes, and all that. But when you don't have that, if you have a striker like Lukaku, I think it needs another striker to pair with him, a twin striker. And I keep saying that, and it sounds like I'm foolish. Lukaku is not a bad player, but I think it needs a pair up front to make his job easy. Amasue Precious again said that as just say, pragmatic approach hurt Man United more than it has helped them, since his style is a shift from the regular Man U DNA. you just described. I think it hurts them. Yes, they've won the Europa. Yeah, I'm second. They've also won. I think they won one FA Cup, if I'm not mistaken. They won the Europa. But Manchester United used to be the leader and all that. And if you look at the team that Sir Alex used to win the last title before he left, that team is not half as good as the team that LVG had, not half as good as the team that Mourinho has had in this last 2 seasons. But the thing is, the mentality, football is won in the dressing room, not on the field. The mentality, what you are told in the dressing room before you get on the field, that's the reason why Arsenal was poor the last 12 years. Not because they didn't have the right players. They have the players, but they were poor because mentally they started the season knowing that, okay, we're not good enough to win the title. We're not even competing for the title in the first place. If we make top 4, we are so good, we have overachieved, because that's what the coach tells them. So they're not actually starting the season like, okay, we're in a rush. They're always waiting for that, that 13 or 11 unbeaten run that they will do, and they accumulate enough points to make the top 4 until Tottenham Hotspur is like, okay, this snake does not have poison anymore. Let's use it to tie firewood. And that's how Arsenal fell out of the top 4. And Spurs replaced them in the last season. So for Man United, I think that people look at Man United, when Man United, that's one. Secondly, when you win Manchester United or you get a draw against Manchester United, whether at home or away, you celebrate it because you will not have another one maybe in the next 20 years. Then Manchester United now is a team that you forward, like going forward, we give it a go, we can beat them. So you now start preparing against Manchester United with the we can beat them mentality. They are beatable. And for every defeat a team like Manchester United suffer, the number of defeats they suffer or draws they suffer, the confidence begin to drop, because what happens is people get too familiar with the masquerade that they can't lift the veil off the face of the masquerade. They cannot even raise it and show the underside of the masquerade. That's exactly what has happened with Manchester United. I think that Mourinho's style has hurt them. It doesn't make Man United, it doesn't make Jose Mourinho a bad coach. You try to understand, but it's just not the perfect fit for Manchester United. And every day that passes by is beginning to show. Because Manchester United obviously will still win a few things, will get to the finals of some competition, but they will not win it like they are Manchester United. They will just win it like, when Leicester City won the league title, they don't win it like, okay, one lucky team that just showed up and won it. So I think that Manchester United needs to Jose Mourinho needs to either sit back and tell himself, I need to get this right, or Manchester United look for a coach that will play the Manchester United way. Odo Donald said, hello boss, what do you think about Barca's Suarez was one of our main problem last season, but we are not even looking for a good agile striker. Please, what's your take about this? I don't think Suarez was the problem. What happened last season was people did not really see the power of Andres Iniesta and Xavi in that team. So last season was a season where it began to show that Xavi was really missing, and Barcelona spent close to 300 million trying to replace Xavi, trying to get Coutinho, Dembele, Gomez, all the players they tried to get to replace him. Now, he missed quite a lot of chances. The team did not click. He wasn't playing at his very best. Yes, because when he came into Barcelona, the team was built on the MSN style, Messi, Suarez, and Neymar. And Neymar, if you go back, Suarez was a provider for Neymar and Messi, and Neymar was a provider for Suarez. Okay, so what happened was his provider left and was not replaced. So, and then his perfect act of running into the channel, and then Neymar would just, square the ball for him or do. Anytime Neymar is running on the side, Suarez knows where to be because you know how Neymar plays. Then Dembele came in, who was overruled by the crowd, the stars in the team. He was still trying to take autographs, still trying to gel into the team. Whereas in the case of Neymar came with his own aura too, and it was big enough to dance or sing the tune that they were singing. And then, that all that also affected the team. They were no longer as forceful as they used to be. Then Coutinho came in. Coutinho have only one style of play. That dribble from the left, cut it to the right, and bend the ball. But then here you are in Barcelona where you don't only play for yourself, you have to also pass. That's why when Coutinho left Liverpool, they didn't miss him that much. He was playing the kind of football where he doesn't really play for people that much. So those wonder goals, those free kick, some other people can do it. Once you can get somebody who will be a team player, who will look out for the other person, then the team is good. They will play like you were never there. So I don't think it's a Suarez team, but rather it's the way Barcelona played in the last whole of 2 seasons back now that they played like that. But because they were winning titles, that's Barcelona for you. You really don't notice it. But I think in the team gel, they have enough firepower in their team. They have enough players in that Barcelona squad to be able to achieve anything they want to achieve. So it's not really a Suarez thing. But if you ask me, I would have thought, maybe I'm wrong, but I would have thought that Barcelona will still go for a striker. Then I'm at the market and I'm asking, okay, who's that striker that Barcelona should go for? Maybe Icardi, but then Icardi does not really play, does not really play the Barcelona style. When I say the Barcelona style, play in that system whereby, they can, what's the word to use now? They can come in to play the tiki-taka, smooth movement, transition, short passes, beautiful exchanges between this team and that team. So in that light, you worry like, okay, would this work? Would this go for us or go against us? So I think that's one thing that maybe Barcelona needs to look for. But all in all, in my opinion, I don't think it's because he missed quite a lot of chances last season. Suarez will always miss chances, but he will score when he needs to score. And because Barcelona don't see winning the league as just success. You need to be Champions League finals. You need to be very good. You need to outdo Real Madrid. But that said, I think they've done well. I'm also precious to say, you are cracking me up. Suarez provider left. It's true now. Sounds very logical because Suarez was actually looking off. And it's true. If you see, I play football. And there are times where some people have already mastered the way I play, and I've also mastered the way they play. When I'm running, they know where to put the ball. It's not just football, it's science. It's not just to put the pass. It's like going to a professional tailor and to like Obioma roadside. I have a tailor, but this guy is so efficient. We were negotiating to do a promo, very soon. We will do a promo where we will be giving away some of his clothes, like he will come measure you and so. Any one of you who wins it will understand what I am saying. He is cut to fit. He's a cut to fit kind of tailor. And then I have one boutique, Westways, where I buy my jacket. I've always had jackets. I have jackets in my wardrobe. Either they are too long or they're not cut to size. And once I wear it, I notice that my confidence just go out. It's the same thing with football. But Suarez is playing right now like somebody like Ida. Yeah. So every time I'm walking, you see me trying to adjust, trying to draw my inner shirt out. It takes a whole lot away from you. It's the same thing with Suarez. Suarez is looking for his provider. There is no network anymore in his area. So more like you carry your Android phone, your smartphone, but there's no data, there's no network. You can't. The phone is useless. So it's just the way it is. Like Precious said, he actually looking orphan, and it's true. Most of Precious again said, I think Coutinho is more flamboyant version of Oscar. His wonder goal mask his shortcoming. I agree with you 100%. Coutinho, when he scores, and he scores those wonder goals, he looked like the greatest player I watched. But collective as a player, adding value to the runs and movement of the other players. That's why I don't like Alexis Sanchez. That's also the reason why I will not be a fan of Eden Hazard. When I look at his contribution, even Alexis Sanchez still rates for me higher than Eden Hazard. When I look at his collective contribution to the other players, it is sub-zero, as in potential against outcome. It is zero. You understand? It has the potential of a Ronaldinho, for instance, and your output is to the level of Yasanogo. Then I have a problem. It's like I got to buy a list. Say I can't on the fridge, I can't put on the AC. I can only put the things that I will put on if I'm using, like, I better pass my neighbor. But I'm buying diesel that's running into hundreds of thousands. So what's the use of having a generator with there is something called a capacitor. Now, if you have a small strength capacitor, your generator, correct the way it should. So I think it's the same to with Felipe Coutinho. Felipe Coutinho does not give to the team all of the things the team needs based on his potential. But when he scores that wonder goal, like when the World Cup was going on, I was telling people that a lot of people blame Neymar because of his rolling on the floor and the fact that expectation was high on him. But I think that Coutinho is a problem because, one, Coutinho runs into the same channel that Neymar needs to use. He narrows it. And then most of the time, the coach, there's a game they played that everybody was blaming Neymar. But Coutinho was a man that was at first. But everybody put him on Neymar. And I was like, well, that's what it is. He's the big man here, so he will take the blame. Coutinho scores one wonder goal and they will celebrate it for like 5 games before they remember that Coutinho didn't have a good game. There are some players like that. People never remember that they have poor game because people expect that, they're supposed to take the ball, bend it. But first, football is play for the team before you play for yourself. And he obviously like that. Amasu Pressure said, Icardi is also not good when it comes to team play. That's what I said earlier on. It's more of a boss striker. Now, that's the reason why I think Barcelona needs him. This is my thought too. And listen, first, Xavi has gone. Iniesta has gone. I think it will be wisdom to also agree that he does not, that quick burst of pace that Messi used to have, he doesn't have it anymore. So the best place where he can, since he's a good holder of the ball, a fantastic distributor of the ball, both to the left and to the right, why not change the system of play, bring Icardi and Suarez, put all of them together to play up front? Because I would have said Dybala, but obviously Messi and Dybala, I don't know what's happening. But maybe Icardi this time will play because I don't see Messi and Dybala doesn't really play well together. So when you put Suarez and Icardi up front, Icardi becomes the go-to guy. The way you had Muller and Lewandowski, Messi drops to the midfield. After all, that's his original position. He started scoring goals under Pep and he became a lead man. If not, he's a wide midfielder. So he plays in the midfield, makes those shuttle runs, stay with playing free kick and also arrival at the box lane, get all those cutback that he normally will get and slide it in with his left foot. But Suarez and Icardi play up front if that's possible. I can't say that Barcelona needs an Higuain. Higuain is too old and it's just not in anyway. But I think that if they give that a try, it would be good. They change their midfield from what it is now to a diamond field. So you have Sergio Busquets at the base of the diamond. You have Coutinho on this side, Dybala on this side, and behind the two striker on the top of the diamond, you have Lionel Messi. I might be wrong, but they say teams are structured based on the strength of the players that you have. And I think based on the strength of the players that are in Barcelona right now, that is a system that might just work and work very well for them. But who knows? It can only work. It can only work when they try it. If you don't try it, it doesn't seem to work. Like it's just like Arsenal, for instance. Somebody stopped me at the mall yesterday when I went out with my kids. It was like, okay, look at the players that Arsenal have signed. So, what do you think? I said, very good players. First off, the man studied Arsenal in the last couple of seasons Arsenal does not have defenders. Defenders have been a problem, and he's brought in some experienced players in defense, and I've also refused to let the young defenders go, meaning that, okay, I need you guys to learn from these guys. Probably you would take over. And based on the fact that the club does not have too much money to spend in the market, he's managed it very well. But he's also managed to bring in still in the middle in Torreira, and then a few other players I think to solidify it. But now the guy asked me, so what is the best system to play? I said, look, he said he's going to play a 4-2-3-1 formation, or he's going to play a diamond in the middle. You play diamond, and then you play Lacazette and Aubameyang. It should work. So it is the whole rotation team now will be done in the midfield. Jose plays behind the two striker as a number 10. In the diamond, you cannot decide to play anybody. In that diamond, on diamond to the left, you can decide to even bring in Kalin. If you don't bring in, you can play Ramsey there, and on the left, Ramsey. On the right, you play Mkhitaryan, and then at the base, Torreira. If you don't do that, you play the 4-3-1, where you play Lucas Torreira, right? Lucas Torreira and Xhaka, or Lucas Torreira and Lacazette up front. If you want to make substitution, you cannot take out Lacazette, send Aubameyang up front, and bring in either Kolasinac, Ramsey, or Xhaka, depending on who you're starting with. But the thing is, it gives you the option to rotate. It gives you the option to adjust your system based on how the opposition is playing. You can also, in that same system, when you're playing a two defensive midfielder in front of your back line, you can adjust and remove one wing, one full, and adjust to a back three, and still train one more player into the midfield. You are still good to go. So it depends on the players you've got, and then you play to their system. Precious says, but we'll be playing too narrow. Now, people talk about this playing too narrow. Look at Barcelona, for instance. Barcelona is a team that scores goals for and that's Gerard Piqué attacking a corner kick. Not necessarily because they play the ball wide and a traditional winger crosses the ball. The last time they had that was Pedro playing for David Villa. That system is not even there. That was when they played that very quick. Now they don't have that system again. So the team is narrow. Last season they were very narrow. Only the width of the field to play. But when it comes to playing diamond, people think that when you play diamond, it means you're narrow. No, you're not really narrow. It means that you have quick movement and easy transition of the ball within yourself and amongst your players, which means that, for instance, you're playing a triangle, a diamond in the middle. This is how a diamond look, right? This is how a diamond look like, So at every time, the guy at the top, if there's a triangle behind him, there's another triangle above him, himself and two up front. This one, if you hold the ball, there's another triangle to the left, there's a triangle to the triangle to the left. So at every given time you give a triangle, it's called, in football, it's called tri-communication. At any given time, there is somebody to your left, somebody to your right, and somebody of you. And if you want to go back, there's somebody behind you as well. But make your options even sweeter when you need width now, because you're talking about playing narrow. When you need width now, the fullbacks, right fullback, that's where people like the Roberto Carlos in their days, Cafu, when Daniel was Daniel Alves, that's where they run into the channel, Ash Cole and the rest of them. They run into the channel, and then there is, a pass open there. Because they're playing that narrow, the opposition, you don't have possession now, you want to go and mark. Everybody will show in trying to mark in the middle. As soon as you see your fullback flying like a receiver in the NFL, you play like a quarterback. You become a Tom Brady. You just get the ball and roll it into space. Barcelona, when you give to is their style of play. A lot of their players really know how to use the ball. Great ball juggler, players who can play within tight space and transition like this in the snap of a finger. So I think it will still work for them anyway. Master Precious, I guess you are the your host of the show today because I'm loving every question take now that they have a new stadium to compete for the Premier League title this season. Well, I leave it to first. That's a question they ask now. Let me leave it to you guys. Let me hear what you've got to say. Let me read the last contribution by Suwe. What do you guys think? Do you think that Tottenham must have what it takes to compete for the Premiership title this season, holding to the fact that they have a stadium, no need that stadium that look like a toilet seat, very stadium, 62,000 capacity stadium. Do you think now they have a squad on it anyway? That Darlington is watching this video, probably will watch it later because some people are like, okay, go ahead with the show, or we'll close for work, we would watch it again. Now it's not too low. So let me see. But I must always say they do not have the fullback in the likes of Alves to provide the width. Jodiaba, they have a few players that can adapt. You know, the thing is, teams do adapt. Players need to rise up to the challenge, to the occasion, to see what they can give. But let's not forget that team have Ivan Rakitic, have CJ Busquets, have Lionel Messi, they have Felipe Coutinho. I mean, I think the players have to. These are players who can hold on to the ball and outwit one or two players on move on their day. So they have to attack and then he used acceleration. He used very well to act position before you calculate him. You know, Messi this does. It slows down. When we're learning how to ride bicycle, remember way back when we're learning how to ride BMS, a Riley bicycle, there's no caution. So I think it's something that Messi has used a lot for his aging, and he's been doing this for the past since 2005. So now for the past 10 seasons. I mean, the boy is becoming so it's kind of weakened down a little bit. Let me come back to I'm also pressure say Spurs for me do not have the character to win the league. I think they will fall off the top for myself. All right. That's the pressure. They say winning the EPL is beyond just the squad. I think Pochettino has taken them to the peak of his powers. Does not have. I wish you were listening because honestly speaking, there's nothing I want to say that this guy. I think if I start, okay, let me give you guys one news. We're actually looking into an office, and then roundtable will become table talk will become a show on its own. For it's just me. Become a show on its own where we'll bring in guests, where people would, we'll have a table, we'll have microphones. It will be like a radio studio, but we're still working on it anyway. We're still working on a few things to get it done. Really, really short for cash, but we're hoping that some jobs around will be paid, and then we'll get our studio set up. Somebody like Omasuwe Precious, I would love to have you in our studio to talk on the show because you say like really, and it's this thing I used to say I was on radio. I used to say when we have meeting, like, that the listeners know this thing more than we do. We're just privileged to be on air. And people don't understand why I say that, even though some people don't, but the people who listen to us really, really do know. And it's true. For me, I don't think that Spurs, on Friday, if you watch the video, I said that I think Spurs is a team that, I think that genuinely, I think that Arsenal would make the top four. The jury is still out on Chelsea. I'm still, shaky on Chelsea. I don't think they are in yet, but I'm not ruling them out completely. So it's a straight back on Arsenal, and because this is me taking it for granted that Liverpool for me have become second in the odds-on favorite to win the Premier League title. Man United don't even deserve to be in second last season, but somehow they were. Premiership, the table don't lie. So I want them the benefit of the doubt and say, okay, they will make the top four game, but I think that Tottenham Hotspur will not. I think that Arsenal have gone about that very well. There is still maybe one or two questions that needs answered because it's not just to sign players. Players need to fit in. These players need to be good enough to meet the expectations. The expectations of the club that signed them. They need to slide into the system. The best player that Arsenal signed happens to be the Uruguayan, Lucas Torreira. Another player that I think would help Arsenal in this season, and I'm saying this tongue in check because it might end up disappointing me big time, is Mesut Ozil. Everything to prove because right now his entire career is being called to question. His entire game is being put on the line, and this coming season, not only the normal English press attack will be on him, but I think the Germans will be throwing jibes at him back and front and be analyzing every game he plays. So it is going to be up to him now to prove a worthy son of an immigrant or a bloody son of an immigrant. But I think that Ozil has got enough in him to be able. Ozil is that kind of player that would have fit perfectly into the basket. It needs people, a lot of jugglers on him. Sometimes he struggles with Sanchez because Sanchez does not have the quick release. It takes time. He wants to stay in too much dressing and all those things. He does. I think that Lucas Torreira comes in, avoid injuries to the Premier League and doesn't get too hard to play card because when he makes so many interrupts his play, his time on the game, and then his flow, he just might make Ozil get better. The reason why I'm counting on Ozil this season because some players like them when they actually do better, he's angry. He might do better, but Ozil is the kind of person who need plenty of to play well. One of the weak links is Lacazette. I still don't have faith in him. Like, he doesn't have urgency in his game. It feels like I don't have anything to prove. But I think I still want to have a very lad bang. Okay, he won the German Bundesliga highest goal scorer. He wants to be the highest goal scorer in England. So he will be for a lot of the balls. He's that kind of player that will walk into the dressing room. He doesn't need to be captain of the team to give order to his teammate, and his teammate will listen to him. So I think that with that kind of player in the team, it's not irrelevant anyway, but it's just that kind of player that all of a sudden everybody will start to locate. If they get it right, fine. What's that thing again that somebody threw? Okay, Master said, I kind of share your view about it. I watched that game today and immediately Jorginho was sub. The team fell apart and Sarri, like most Italian coaches, seeing a one-dimensional loves at the base of the midfield, and he isn't also renowned as a box-to-box player like Vidal or Amsic. Older donor said when Neymar was in Barca, he provided a lot of pace to our forward line. Only it was a player with the second highest assists. So they give wrong passes. I need to understand that he won the trophy with you guys. He was always winning something. So I think it's just were that wrong. See, you people know what you were buying when it comes to Neymar. Anybody who buy Neymar know what they were buying when they bought Neymar. It's not as if I was playing like this and then he came to a club and he started playing like this. That is the Jenga. There's something called the Jenga. The Jenga is what Neymar plays. Those people from that Sao Paulo, Santos area of Brazil, everybody wants to hate Pele. So they come in and play the similar style or they tweak it a little extraordinary talent Pele to Falcao, Testao, to Garrincha, to Socrates, Rodinho, Rivaldo, Ronaldo da Lima. Do you know what it means? See, I've been in that position. Do you know what it means? I grew up